Yo.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
On the troll. On the troll.
Hello and welcome to Mzansi. We are back again. It's that time of the night. It has been a very, very tiring week. And we are here. Perhaps it's because we are dealing with evidence that is somehow that is presented to us, and it's very tiring. I won't lie to you. You need to sit and understand whatever that is going on with that evidence. But one thing that I can say before we start, Emil, give you a chance to greet, but before you do that,
okay,
there is a bit of emotional intelligence that is required if we are going to sit in these cases. And it would make one wonder as to how these people are chosen to become judges. Their experience, cases, winning and doing all those things, and how much you have studied, it does not matter when you are sitting there. What matters is what is being presented to you. And it seems so far there's only one side there, and that side is an NPA that is seemingly working together, states that is working together. I do not understand some of the things that these people, these defense lawyers that are objected to, when they are objecting, I really do not understand. There is no even weight sometimes for Baloyi to object. And perhaps it's the judge's right to do that. But when is overdoing in this situation? When do we see a judge doing it and say that he's overdoing it? Sometimes you could think you are smart.
yes,
And such that when people finishes whatever that they're saying, you have already comprehended it and you feel like you can tell them exactly what they're going to say. So that is disturbing. That is disturbing the process. And that is disturbing the line of questioning that these people have prepared. They've taken their time and prepared to actually go through these things in consideration of that black and white book or whatever book that you guys bring in these courts. But seemingly, what is lacking is emotional intelligence. You would expect it to someone who has seen it all. You would expect it to someone who has presided in many cases. You would expect that. This case is not just a case. Some might even go as further as arguing that it does have a bit of that element of political fiction in it. And should you discuss that? And the question is, how do you preside in that case? Because there's only one answer if you listen to one person. And that answer is going to favor that person.
yes,
If you are not willing to listen to other people that are coming to present their side of the story, that answer will always favor the person that was listened to a lot. I'm saying this because we're going to go in and analyze this case. There was an instance for me where Baloyi repeated himself. He went in a break. He was talking about the same pictures of your Dlamanzi and whatnot. Dates were not mentioned there. But Baloyi was allowed time without being asked, where is this question, is this cross-examining going? It was never paused. It was never even cautioned that this is time wasting. And I have a problem then if this car we are in, as the public opinion, is only faster when we are the ones who are actually having to travel on it. And it does portray, that issue of a car. When I was a kid, you look the other side, the car is very slow.
Yes.
And then you look on the other side, on your right, maybe the car is faster. So this is what I'm seeing here. The balance of forces is not giving for me. And you cannot fault the defense in this case because you get frustrated.
Yes.
Even with Mshololo towards the end of
Yes.
the guy who was sitting there telling us about the 40 years and whatnot. Towards the end, he was disturbed to such a point where it was alleged that Mshololo did not perhaps look or was not briefed by the person who was sitting
No,
there.
that was
That is an
disrespectful.
insinuation of what happened.
Now that was a jab.
With Mshololo's calmness. And in that, Emil, in those questioning that Mshololo brought, it was established that actually this is not the right person we should be asking questions to. This is not a person that really can testify on this album that is in front of us. But how is that going to be looked at if already there has been a commotion that is driving the conversation in a different direction of throwing each other with words? How then, therefore, after that, you sit down and say, I must be able to decide, to reason and decide on this evidence and not being irrational. How am I going to do that after such back and forth for one person to put through some of the questions?
Those are valid questions.
Let us start.
And why does it feel like the witnesses have power in this court?
They must have power. I agree with the fact that they must have power. They must give evidence.
They are overpowering everyone else.
But
That's the problem.
to suppress the other side that is seeking to give clarity, it doesn't seem good. It doesn't look good to me. And considering that these people do not have money to go further and ask for retrial on this issue. Already we are talking about the issue of bringing legal aid funds. How are these people going to take it further if they felt or they feel that they were not being treated fairly, this defense?
Yeah.
Now, this is how cases die. This is how you literally kill the case. And
This is how you end up sitting in jail for 25 years.
and I know there's a person all the way, I think, from America. This is one of our subscriber. I just want to play the voice. And this person is really saying that we should let the judge do what it does. And I'm not against that. I agree with that 100%. Let us listen to this person.
Hey, what's up, Emily? What's up, Mr. Anonymous? What's going on? This is your brother Dane from the U.S., from New York. I've called before about the Meyiwa case. I just want to give my 2 cents about a couple things again. So one thing I've noticed, I've seen this coming, and I wish for people that side to stop doing this. You guys don't stay planted. You don't stay on your square, because all this time we wanted the judge to be replaced. We wanted Judge Afro Maumela to be gone, and he's gone. Now we got this new proactive judge, and he has his quirks, such as interjecting. But you see, here's the thing. If Maumela was still on this case, you'd have to expect that he would entertain all of the prosecution's their postponements and their breaks. This judge is not doing that. So take into consideration that he's moving this thing along. This trial is moving. There are things that are coming out now at a rapid pace that, could you imagine these things coming out under Maumela? No. So please, don't be so fickle. And I'm not just saying this to the two of you, because I enjoy you guys' show. I love you guys. I love everybody in South Africa, right? but just stay on your square once something has been changed. Sometimes change is good, because once you change something, someone gets removed from the position, the next one comes, remove this one. Please, just let this guy rock. Let me explain a little bit further. In the U.S., when it comes to court cases, they tend to go by jury and not the judge. You see, so in South Africa, I understand it's the opposite. They go by judge, making the decisions. So at the end of the day, it's the judge himself who will make the decision. So if he's seeing something in this manner, if he's noticing something, if he's guiding something or whatever, don't be so quick to see it as an interjection. This is what he's collecting his thoughts, and so just trust the process. And another thing is, I think it's troubling because that Kelly Khumalo could be implicated by the detectives as far as her number being appeared in phone calls. They could tell you that the same people who are investigating, and they're not telling you that she's a suspect. They're not telling you that they plan to call her. Let me tell you something. When there's a case of crime and it's being investigated, the first bit of evidence that the detectives obtain for the prosecution, that's called discovery. Discovery is the first bit of information. If the people who are in charge of discovery are saying to you, we have evidence that Kelly Khumalo has made contact with XYZ, but she's not implicated, that tells you that the very same people are withholding information. They've withholded the fact that she's there in all of this, but she's not being counted as somebody who should come and answer. That's a problem. So I don't think they're highlighting that enough, because discovery is something that she should have been on either docket. Whatever they're ventilating now, she should be there. Period. It doesn't matter which docket, because this is the one with the so-called 5, right? Well, her name comes up in that one. So what now? But anyway, that's just my 2 cents. I love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
I agree. There are a lot of points that he submitted that I agree with. And initially, I was vouching for our judge here to say exactly that if he sees things in a certain way, we must admit, we must accept those things.
Maybe he's onto something.
But the question is, aren't we losing a lot of information that these people could have put through, such as this one that I just highlighted about Mshololo? Sometimes, most of the time, I'm always against Mshololo. Calm, as cool as you'd like them to be.
Very calm today.
She did a great job. Even yesterday, she did a very great job. But how do you see that job if you are already in a position of defense? If you are already in a position of thinking that you are right, he's wrong, she's wrong.
And you're being told by a witness that you were not there on Friday after 2 days of cross-examination. You are disrespected. And the judge says nothing.
And then when one thing, such as being questioned as, are you a hairdresser? It becomes a hoo-ha.
Interject. They're like, where are you going with
We
this?
even go and fetch books of some case. Forget about the cases that have happened before. This requires you to be rational. This requires you to reason with people, have a conversation with people, and understand where they come from. That does not need books. It requires someone who's not going to be biased, at least.
Now it's seeming biased. I'm sorry, but it's looking like that. We have been traumatized enough. We can see the signs already, and we can't keep quiet this time just because it's him. If it's not looking balanced,
we like the pace.
It's not looking balanced
But
when it comes to the defense.
Yeah, if the pace is not including the whole group of people that are there to present their evidence and question and scrutinize that evidence, then that is not a case. We might as well close it and find these people guilty. I don't know God knows how we're going to bring the mastermind into all this. I don't know.
I don't know. But he's right, though, about why is suspect number 6 not there?
100%.
Why is Kelly not there? Why is she
100%.
not there amongst those 5 accused?
100%.
I mean, it's linking. You found a link, and the link is linking. Why
According
is she
to your
not there?
theory,
According
yes.
to your theory, why is she not arrested? That is a big question mark. And you, at the end of it all, we have to ask ourselves, is this case for the conviction of the 5 accused, or is it that it becomes cancelled, and as it becomes cancelled, it also affects 375? Because how are you going to now charge Kelly if she's not in this one? What are you going to do with 375? Because already, if the accused that are standing trial before now, it happens that the case is dismissed, it will definitely affect the next one.
If you ask me, all these 2 people that have been here, from the 40 years experience to this one, 15 years, I don't know what it is,
He said 20.
analyst, whatever, there's a lot of, they can't even understand what their position is. They can't properly say, this is my position. I am an analyst. You know, they always say, if it's required, I have to do it. There is no such thing as that.
No.
You cannot be sitting at the office and be requested to go clean outside.
And then you go and clean outside because it's requested.
No.
What job did you interview for?
That's when
what
you up and
position
leave.
did you get hired for?
Because one day these people will tell you to get naked.
And then
As
you'll
part
do
of
it.
your job, you'll do it.
Even though it's not even in your contract.
So, let us start, Emily. Let's go through this thing.
Okay, early in the morning there was a delay. The court started just after 10:30, and the judge started off by apologizing for the late start, saying that he had a mishap, and asked the advocate Mnisi whether he believed in African magic. Uthi bayangiphosa laba bantu laba, and Mnisi jokingly said, "It must be the people from KwaNdebele, sir." Advocate Mshololo started with a cross-examination of Colonel Lambertus Steyn. Now, he says he has a BTEC in policing from UNISA, accredited by SACA, and the other certificates done with companies could not be traced, according to Advocate Mshololo. Now, she says, I know your rank is colonel. From the list of qualifications, I have been able to pick up one with SACA. Now, Mshololo asked for the rest of the qualifications. I don't see the courses accredited. And Steyn said some are. And then Mshololo said, bring those certificates. They will assist us to understand those types of qualifications. And Mshololo, at that point, I said, this is petty, exactly what I would do, child, because I want to understand those qualifications that have made you this analyst, And then Steyn said some of the courses he's done are CETA accredited, and he will bring them to court for verification. Hopefully he does that. And then Mshololo asked, should I take you as an expert witness or ordinary police officer? And Steyn said, the choice is yours, my lord. Why was it so difficult for Mr. Steyn to answer this question? Because, child, you are just being unnecessarily difficult, and I could feel the aggression building up that Steyn today is gonna be difficult. And then Mshololo said, let me take you back to the numbers you said were being used by my client, Mr. Ntuli. And Mshololo said, read the numbers for me that you say were associated with Mr. Ntuli. So Mr. Mabungu's numbers were removed, the ones that were allegedly having a connection with Kelly Khumalo as well as the other accused, because they were under the impression that was accused number 5. Turns out it's another individual who passed on. Remember, we updated you guys on that yesterday. So Steyn listed all the other remaining numbers. I think there were 9 of them. So Mshololo asked, what did you say about these numbers? And then Steyn said, I said these are the numbers used by suspect number 5. It's been identified by the investigation team. Like, I also mentioned during my first day of testifying, it was also done by profiling the targets and the suspects. So Mshololo asked, it says it was used. And Steyn said, yes, linked to their names. It was used as a reference while some other time they were being arrested or they'd buy a car in the system that mentioned a cell phone number or something, but it's just an example. It does not mean that number 5 bought a car, but some of them did buy a car. Mshololo then asked, I want us to unpack how each of these numbers are associated to Mr. Ntuli, but before I do that, I want to find out from you, are you the one who discovered that these numbers belong to Mr. Ntuli, or were you told by someone else? And Steyn said it can be both. Like I already mentioned, the leading investigation officer, Brigadier Gininda, handed also some of the information over to me.
Is it now not a bit clear that the person we needed on the stand was Brigadier Gininda?
Yes.
For all these two.
Yes.
And they could have just
Brought
put in the
him
statements
from
and
the word go.
to say that, yes, indeed, I compiled this, 1, 2, 3. But the main person here should, in these two testifying, be Brigadier. And all of them, they eventually revert to the person, say, Brigadier Gininda.
All of them are referring to him. All of them. So Mshololo asked, maybe let's go one by one. You'll tell us. Steyn said, no, I think, my lord, we are going to leave it for the lead investigation officer. That's Brigadier Gininda. Mshololo then asked, then why I'm asking, is it part of your evidence? Did you do it or was it done by someone else? If you say it was done by someone else, then I know, then I have to leave it. Then Steyn said, yes, it was done by someone else, if I have to put it that way. Mshololo asked, so your evidence that these numbers are associated with Mr. Ntuli is not correct. So it's only Brigadier Gininda who can testify about that. And Steyn said, I also mentioned that after I received the information from Brigadier Gininda, I used 205s and the cell phone downloads, as you can see on one of the pages on the screen. If he used that download on the phone of suspect number 3, the number on his cell phone has been saved under the name Nkani. So that is a clear indication that some of his friends do know him. On his contact numbers, he saved his name. And if I put that together with the information I have received from the investigation team, it's clear to me it is the same person. Mshololo then said, it's not what I've asked. And you could see her looking irritated. Like, I didn't ask you that question. You've already answered my question, Kenel. Can we move on? Then Steyn said, I think a way of moving on is when Brigadier Gininda is going to place a file about the information. Now, I couldn't hear him clearly on some of the things he was saying, but Mshololo said, I need Kenel Gininda to come. Mshololo moved on to say that, from where did you get those pictures? And Steyn said, from the downloads from the phone of suspect number 3. Mshololo asked, why did you include them in your report? And Steyn said, because I was requested by Brigadier Gininda to identify the clothing and the dreadlocks. Mshololo asked, are you a photographer as well? And Steyn said, no, I'm not a photographer. Mshololo asked, I thought initially it is some of your duties to do data analysis, data information. Steyn said, it's correct, but I'm also an analyst. I work with the whole bundle which they bring to me. If it's included in the download, I have to work with it. Mshololo asked, could you link any of these pictures with any cell phone number? Then Steyn said, that's correct. Which cell phone number? Steyn said, I just mentioned to you that the number with Nkani, with the 2 eyes, that is the number which I picked up from the download. The pictures are linked to the number of suspect number 3, like I already mentioned to the court. Mshololo asked, is it your evidence that these photos were captured with that device or with that cell phone number? How is it linked to that number belonging to accused number 3? Then Steyn asked the judge to bring the downloads. The judge said yes, and because it needed to be explained to counsel. So Steyn said that's the way we received from the downloader. And Mshololo asked, what does it say? Does it say it was captured from that device? Steyn said, if you just give me a minute, you'll get your answer. The first page is the table of contents, but actually we are going to repeat everything now because just after me, Sergeant Ndaba Mabasa can come to testify the same aspect. Then the judge said, and he is the source of those downloads. And Steyn said, that's correct. So here, the question that I felt like Steyn didn't want to answer is whether they downloaded from the device or not. He didn't want to answer this question. So Mshololo then moved on to say, so why did you include it in your report if Sergeant Mabasa is the one who is the author? Then Steyn said, I work on it. I did mention to the court that I received the downloads to analyze. So Mshololo then said, so if you also worked on it, just testify. Sergeant Mabasa will also come and testify. Then Steyn said, that's correct. During the testimony on Friday, I mentioned I identified the number of the cell phone. I identified the serial number and all of it. And we did discuss it in the court and he wasn't present. And I was like, ouch. Mr. Steyn is even pettier. Like, what was the reason? Then Mshololo was calm, to my surprise, because she said, she took a deep breath and she said, because you were present, Colonel, you must assist this court because I'm asking this question for the benefit of the court. The pictures you included in your report, could you determine if they were captured by that device or sent to that device? Steyn then said they were captured by that device. It was a picture taken by the device. I did explain on Friday. Now the question would be, how do you know whether it was sent or captured? I think that's what Mshololo was trying to get at, but Steyn was not having it today, honey.
Yeah. So, Emily, I just happened to read a bit. This is Sunday World.
Okay.
13 September 2015, and the time is 11:28. The top cop quits Senzo Meyiwa's case. Just gonna go right towards the end. Captain Buthelezi provides specialist psychologist investigation support to the team as when required. That's what they were saying when Buthelezi was said to be quitting. But she believed that the only way she could crack the case was to arrest the witnesses and charge them so that they could tell the truth about the exactly what happened. When she was turned down, she resigned towards the end of June. The official added that Buthelezi felt her hard work on the docket had gone to waste because her superiors were not prepared to implement her recommendation. She gave the docket to her superiors, but they were skeptical to implement and suggest to implement her suggestions. And then it's now gathering dust in one of the colonel's office at SAPS head office in Pretoria.
This is 2015.
This is 2015. Now you understand where this case is coming from.
Yo, guys.
Probably we could have cracked it in 2015.
And Mthokozisi just dragged her in his testimony before Dinovo, saying that in 2018 he was collected by her. Did she go back to the SAPS?
I don't know, but just
to
reading.
The same case, not even the SAPS, to the same case, the Senzo Meyiwa case.
Just reading here. Information is in here. It will be difficult to understand this case if you don't want to read.
Then the judge asked, did your colleague tell you about the evidence which was led by this witness in your absence? Now, this was a jab at Advocate Mshololo to ask if that advocate who was representing her on Friday did explain to her. If you want to read the evidence from the record, we can give you that time, because I understood him when he says that the investigation is still ongoing and they are giving him as an analyst some of the downloads, even though the section 205, and they used that information to try and identify the persons who are associated with the numbers which they found from the downloads. Is that correct? Asking Mr. Steyn, and Mr. Steyn is like, that's correct. But Judge, this is our problem right here, Judge. I didn't feel good when you did that. I was like, why are you speaking on his behalf? Miss Mshololo should be getting that answer from the witness for herself, for the record. And now you're coming in and summarizing for the witness. It just felt weird. It felt weird. Okay.
One thing for sure that we can, I think, agree on is that the source is probably not there. You cannot bring initial documents that you claim it's initial documents
Without the source.
Without the source.
The phone.
And when we say the source,
even if they were to hire an expert, they need the expert to go to the phone. He's not going to want
the original source. And you still bringing documents. You can bring the third one and the fifth one who downloaded it. Still counts as documents that has errors. That what we have actually, at the end, this man is considering that there are errors. There are errors. They actually meant 1, 2, 3. At the end, this man is literally saying there are errors.
Now, I also had the problem with the fact that Advocate Mshololo has been cross-examining. It's the second day now. She's been going, and her questions are very much relevant. But the witness does not want to answer this specific question. And you are coming in and saying she should now go for an hour to go and look at what was said on Friday. After cross-examining for how many hours? That was just disrespectful, in my opinion. It was just so unnecessary from Judge Ratam Khwatleng. I was not impressed at all. I'm like, you're gonna let this witness walk all over
what I'm noticing, it's fine, let them walk all over these people. They get paid to do these things. Okay, let's say that was taken. But what I'm noticing here is that there is that thing of I know more than you. And that's a problem that I raised one of these days, that it can be that we all want to claim that we know better than the other one. And this is the problem that this whole law society has. Everyone is trying to prove that I know.
Yeah.
This is how I know. And you know the funny thing, this thing of however you interpret these cases, whether the outcome, whether you go on the side of an outcome, whether it suits you, it's like a Bible. You know? Look at how Mnisi came back from what the judge was doing by saying you cannot literally sit there and become just a critic, a power of critic only. You're criticizing everything that we are doing. Yes, you might see clarity, but do not come in a form of criticizing all the time.
Now, in my opinion, it should not be complicated for this witness to say that the summaries or summarize that for themselves, you know. Why is it so hard for them to give the details of what they were expected to do and what they have done? And if they did take from the source or not, if they downloaded it from the phone or not, why is that question so difficult for them to answer? And the judge said, maybe we should give you an hour or so that you go over and listen to that so that we can make progress. And Mshololo said, my lord, I did listen to the evidence. That is when I was able to pick up these questions for clarification.
And it was clear. It's like me, what he normally does, this judge, of opening his hands. Like, I mean, it's obvious. It was obvious that Mshololo was asking the questions based on that.
Let the witness answer the question. Judge, let them answer it. If they have no comment, let them say, I have no comment. Don't answer for them.
judges' view, seemingly fairness only applies when they are looking at someone who's testifying. That's fairness to the judge. But when it comes to defense, you can point, you can do everything. It's okay.
It needs to be clear at the end of the day. Was it taken from the phone or not? And if they can't get it from him, they know that they can get it from another one. And they have something to tell to that other one that this one said they cannot, or that they have no comment, or that they couldn't, or that they didn't take it from the cell phone. Yeah, Ibon?
Yeah.
So Mshololo then said, it's for clarification purposes, my lord. I have listened to the video clip. I think Kennel was about to answer because my problem was the inclusion of these pictures in your report and the relevance of including these pictures in your report. And then Steyn said, okay, let me go to this exhibit data. This is now from the downloader mentioning the case number from Cleveland. The year was 2015. Serial number of the forensic bag that was done by Captain C. Nkosi. The offense was possession of an unlicensed firearm and ammunition, and the War Room SAP number 94-2015. Then the case number was also from 2015. He went on and on about what was written in the document, and then
Going said, on the other side, actually, not even answering the question.
Mshololo then said, am I correct to say you didn't download this information? It was given to you.
Simple.
And Steyn said, that's correct. I received it.
This is where you roll your eyes, Judge, like you normally do. You roll your eyes. That's a clear question. Simple, straightforward. I did not download this thing.
Are these judges of today not allowed to tell the witnesses, please answer the question? It's okay if you don't have a comment, say no comment, but please answer the question for the record. Is it not allowed? What is going on with Judge Ratam Kgwatling?
You cannot have someone sitting there thinking in a certain way and assuming that you should actually follow that way. No, that you can't have that. And you tell me that this is proper law. I don't care. Then I don't want your law if that's how it is, then I don't want your law.
They need to answer the questions. We need those answers. Even if they are a mess or they are not direct or they are what, but those answers, we need them. So Mshololo then said, let's reserve these questions. They will be put to the person who downloaded this information. And she said, I have no further questions. I just felt that Colonel Steyn was all over the place today. And my apologies, he didn't want to answer that particular question, okay? So Advocate George Baloyi, state prosecutor, went in and re-examined. And he started off by saying, in cross-examination by Advocate Mshololo, as to whether you're testifying as an aspect or an ordinary police officer, you mentioned that it depends on her. But do you testify regularly in court regarding cell phone analysis? Then Steyn said, that's correct, my lord. I testify on a regular basis, and with my years of service, I received courses in 1999. I analyzed about 2,000 cases plus. So surely I think I am an expert.
It would be interesting to know how many of those out of the 2,000, just out of curiosity, were arrested, but they were not supposed to.
Unfortunately, in South Africa, the public does not have access to such information to determine whether... Baloyi then asked, you were asked about how you linked the communication between the number of accused 5 and Kelly Khumalo. Then Steyn explained how he checked the number against the accused number 5 and Kelly Khumalo. Colonel Steyn says the number that he says was linked to accused 5, which he says called Kelly Khumalo's phone on the 2nd of August 2014 and the 15th of October 2014, was not saved on Kelly Khumalo's contact list. So Baloyi said, was this number saved on Miss Khumalo's contact list? Steyn said no. So Baloyi concluded his cross-examination. You see why, guys, we couldn't just go in on Kelly Khumalo like that.
Exactly.
After dropping bombs on Friday, everything is now reversed. So the judge asked Colonel Steyn, "You are not prepared to make a statement that you are an expert analyst." Then Steyn said, "My lord, I can be, because during 2009, the judge did declare me as an expert." Which judge was this that declared Steyn an expert? Okay, it doesn't matter because the judge asked and Steyn said that he doesn't remember. And then the judge said, okay, it doesn't matter. In relation to the evidence you presented in court.
So was that question important?
To Judge Ratam Khwatleng,
Where does it help the judge?
Exactly.
Even if, let's say, for argument's sake, Mr. Anonymous, as a judge, said, okay, yeah, you are an expert, Steyn. Is Mr. Anonymous qualified to call Steyn expert?
No.
Is he a head of that whatever degree or certificate?
No.
No. So who gives you that authority? It's people who are holding those papers and say, yeah, that's why we have masters and all those things.
And doctorate. And the company you work for actually declare you.
You can be declared by the company, and then you go to my company doing the same job. I still view you as a senior or something.
But your position doesn't
This thing
change.
of an expect is actually subjective. Today you can sleep and as an expert, you wake up the next morning, you're not an expert.
I'd like to know the ethnicity of that judge who declared him an expert.
Where does it help? He's always about questions of why you ask that question. Why do you ask that question? I'm asking that question today. Where does it help?
In relation to the evidence you presented in court that he declared you as such.
Is it going to
Steyn
make
said,
you take the decision better?
Maybe Judge Rata is going to help him. However, finding out whether the data was downloaded from the device by Steyn doesn't matter to him. But this matters.
Okay, you might as well declare him an expert then. Just to make it, put it on record that I declare you as an expert. Since a judge can wake up in the morning and declare someone as an expert.
Then Steyn said, yeah, it's also a murder case where we had to do the analysis and stuff. And he was quite satisfied. So how many cases have you handled in the High Court as an analyst? And Steyn said in the High Court, round about 10. And I'm still busy with other ones. I'm worried because in November I'm going on pension. When I had pension, I'm yo. Do you guys realize that the trial will possibly still be on even after November?
Here we go. Yeah, but you still can be called. You're an expert.
So it means we need another expert.
No, you'll still be called.
He'll still be called?
Yes.
Is he done though? Because he's saying the investigation is still ongoing.
I don't know. He might come back again that he has found something. Some cell phone overseas in America. Someone, our caller maybe, or something.
How many times have you given evidence either in the regional court or the High Court, just an estimate? And Steyn said in the regional court he'd say about 50, but he thinks it's more because while he was in the Hawks, he testified regularly in the Captain Park Court with non-furious and rhino horn cases and illegal substance cases. So when you started your career in the SAPS, it was in which department? This is the judge asking, by the way. And then Steyn said, I started in 1982 in the uniform branch. I went to crime intelligence, then to organized crime, then to the Hawks, and now with cold cases. From the beginning of my career, I was only planning to only spend 3 years at the unit. Then when I moved to Joburg, I was stuck. Then the judge said, is it your evidence that you attended a refresher courses regularly? Then Steyn said, that's correct. I'm also receiving in-service training on a regular basis. Now, he asked, have you been lectured by other persons who apparently are analysts in other divisions? And Steyn said, that's correct, my lord. The judge asked Steyn if any court has previously rejected his evidence, and Steyn said, no, never, my lord. So Ramasipili decided to now get in with his questions. He also had hard questions. Kenna, I don't doubt that you're an analyst and that you have experience in that field. However, analysis is one part. There is the technical side regarding based tower stations and cell sites. Do you know anything about that? And Steyn said, that's correct. I also did that as a training course. Like I mentioned, that the towers and tom-tom course, which go hand in hand, because if you receive a section 205, the investigation officer can request the coordinates of the tower, then I can plot it and make a clear picture. Ramasipili said, but yes, that will relate to the mapping and the technical aspect as to particular towers that are owned by the service providers of the telecoms themselves. And Steyn said, that's correct. Ramasipili said, the technical information goes beyond that. He went on to explain how cell phone calls are connected to the towers. And he said, would you agree with me that the information you don't have it, and it's best we leave it for people from the service providers to come give us that information? And Steyn said, no, I don't think it's necessary, because if you go to page 17, you can see exactly the tower being used. I'm sorry, guys. This was hella funny. This was hilarious. And he said, I agree with you. The tower will always use the strongest signal. And if it's too busy, it will go to another tower. Or sometimes your SMSs can go to the central tower in a vicinity if you got the ability to do that. He went on and on and on. You know, this testimony gave vibes of he's now a cell phone tower expert.
Exactly.
So 2 different towers would be reflected on people that were in the same house. This is Ramasipili now pointing it out. And then Mshololo said, Colonel, when I asked you whether you regard yourself as an expert or as a normal witness, you did not tell this court that you are an expert because you were not declared by court, because you were declared by court. Why not? And Steyn was, maybe it's just my personality. The judge again responded on his behalf, guys. He said, the choice is yours to determine whether I am or not. He is too modest. He's not like the great Muhammad Ali, who could claim that he was the greatest.
Is that supposed to be a joke?
Mshololo then said, but the information is too important. Then the judge said, I've been around some time. Steyn has worked 2 years under the current unit, and Ramasipili further inquired on Colonel's expertise. There is no expertise in the AB program. So the judge asked Ramasipili if they will be bringing their own expert to counterfeit Colonel Steyn's evidence. And Ramasipili said no. So it's quite sad that the defense will not be calling an expert to counter Colonel Steyn's evidence. That broke my heart, because it needed to be checked. I'm not satisfied.
How can you check it? What are you going to be checking? The files?
We need the devices. The devices they drew from, because now the testimony they are holding on suspect number 3's phone. Okay? The ones in the house, they're saying they've been downloaded, they're gone. So that already.
There you go. There you go. I'm not interested in that Tom issue. Let us continue.
The state called the next witness, which was Sergeant Moses Mabasa. Mabasa downloaded the cell phone data that was analyzed by the previous witness. So cell phone expert Colonel Lambertus Steyn. Mabasa compiled the report on 17th of August 2020. Now Mabasa's affidavit, Baloyi made him read it in court. He is attached to the SAPS as an analyst. His responsibilities to analyze cell phones, which include incoming and outgoing calls or messages. He says his work include analyzing cell phone records as well as testifying in courts on a regular basis. Mabasa listed his courses that he completed in the SAPS. He said he had successfully completed the analyst notebook course and received regular in-service training regarding the program. He has knowledge of XRY program and MS Office, completed the courses in the SAPS, which are basic police training in Pretoria 2003, crime prevention level 1 course, technical policing, technical training theory, basic investigation practice, street survival, use of firearm in police
I think I
environment,
also have street survival.
domestic violence course, pepper spray course. I didn't know there was a pepper spray course. Pepper spray course.
Yeah, maybe like when you spray it, you must face the wind.
There's technicalities into
Stuff like
spraying
that.
pepper spray that needed a whole course. Basic Management Learning Program, SAPS Management Program, and Leadership Analyst Notebook version 8.9, Investigative Software Solutions, Video Enhancement Workshop, SAPS, Legal Principle, and use
I think
of
I also
firearm in a
have video
police-
enhancement expertise, because you see the videos that you guys are watching here, I enhance it.
Radio Technique, Investigative, Anakapa Software Solutions, etc., etc. I couldn't, some of them, I just felt like, okay, this is enough now for me. Then Baloy said, can you explain briefly what the Anakapa, what does it entail? And Mabasa said it deals with the investigations regarding the cell phones. Then Baloy said, average duration for all the courses. And Mabasa said, all of them combined take up to a year.
Wow. Can you imagine? You go to university, you suffer for 4 years. Then you've got experts.
Baloy asked him to go to page 50. Mabasa, explanation of terminologies that were used. So I decided to leave that part out. We'll find out as we go along. Because he was reading from his file. And Mabasa's reading, I had no patience for it, guys. My apologies, I couldn't. And the affidavit, he started reading from the affidavit and he said, I order for the notebook analyst program to read the information correctly. Certain information must be edited. For example, the analyst program does not recognize 0 as the beginning of the number. So all zeros, that is a prefix, is removed. For example, 0876762545 is converted to 0768762545. Now, there's a mishap that happened with him doing that. His duty was just to remove 0, but he ended up flipping from 7867 to 7687. I don't know whether it was a mistake or what.
Okay, so in Excel, a simple Excel, a cell phone number, you would format it, and then you would go there. If it doesn't have 0, that means it's basically saved as a number on that column, not a character. You know, so for you to add a 0, you'll format it. And South Africa, you use Dutch, and then telephone, something that I cannot even read that thing, and then you format it, it has 0. That is data manipulation.
Okay, he's saying it's not. Let's go to it.
You see this thing
all
of
common numbers is removed. That will give a false link with another phone. Numbers like 100, 10111, 121, all dialing prefixes are removed, such as +27, plus zeros, etc.
So you're cleaning data for whatever that you are going to do, to suit whatever that you are going to do.
To be doing.
That is data manipulation.
Now, what caught my attention, Mr. Anonymous, is when he said the conversion of the data does not involve the manipulation of the data.
Exactly. You see? That's manipulation. In my world, that's manipulation.
And I'm asking myself again, why did you have to put that in there?
No, that's data manipulation.
Why do you have to lie?
You can argue the whole day. That is data manipulation. Data that is not manipulated is the data that is taken at that state and used at that state.
It's sort of like a disclaimer that he's putting maybe to save himself for whatever a reason that
so
I don't
you
understand.
enhancing the picture is still
It's
data
still
manipulation.
Data manipulation.
Because if I, you see, I mean, how you look now. If I remove certain things now,
Add filters.
that's data manipulation.
If you remove zeros from a number that starts with a 0, you are manipulating the data. You are allowed to because you want to work with it. But it does not mean that you didn't manipulate it.
But don't come to us and tell us that it's not data manipulation. And it is data manipulation.
Yo, my God. SAVS, what's going on? Mabasa then said on 2020 of August 17th, 11:17, received Mthobisi Ncube's case in Cleveland. Mabasa said he received the XRY file, a Samsung GT, and a memory card from the phone of the accused, number 3, Mthobisi Ncube. Mabasa says he was asked by Brigadier Gininda, colonel at the time, to compile the pictures that he would find on the cell phone or memory card which were handed to him.
Yes.
The phone, he says, belonged to accused number 3. So Judge Baloyi leading the witness through a list of pictures he found in accused number 3's phone, which include pictures of money and pictures of people. The pictures were not displayed on the screen in court, and I could see because the journalists looked like they were lost, and the suspects were looking down. It's like they were so disinterested. So Baloyi asked Mabasa about a picture showing lots of 100 Rand notes. And he asked, were you able to determine the date? And Mabasa said no. Mabasa said the first picture is of a stack of 100 notes. Another one says Impande Sono, meaning the root of all evil. So these Zulu names, it's what he allegedly labeled the pictures. Another picture shows money in a plastic bag saved as Igugulo Mhlaba, the world's treasure. I'm translating for you guys who are non-Zulu. Don't come for me and say that I'm not speaking English anymore. Then Mabasa said, 2014 on November 26, 12:47, a picture of a man in orange overalls. Mabasa referred to a picture of 200 notes also with writings Impande Esono, Impande Esono, my apologies. And Baloyi advised Mr. Mabasa to also mention the dates. Mabasa said not every picture has a date.
Exactly.
Which was a red flag.
Exactly. What did Tom said? Tom came and said, the system they're using and the compatible laptop will come and everything shall be clear.
Yes.
It will be like Jesus is just stepped on this earth.
Yes.
And now we are told by the so reliable, the person he was relying on, that
Mabasa,
other pictures do not have data, do not have date.
they don't have
As
date.
we said.
Another picture showed 100 rands, 50 rands, and 200 rand notes. And Mabasa said another bag of money has the title Ngiyofani Ninkhohlwe, meaning when am I gonna die and forget? Baloyi then asked, what does the date and time signify? And Mabasa said the date the picture was created, it may have been created in the form that it was taken or it was sent by the device.
Let me address this subs guy. He's saying you're talking nonsense. Data manipulation isn't always a bad thing, dude. Like you said, enhancement, that can mean adding contrast or to make a picture clear. You see, that's a problem.
You are not listening.
Nonsense is when you do not listen. Learn to listen. We never talked about bad or good data manipulation. We talked about data manipulation.
The term data
The term
manipulation.
data manipulation. Before you use
His
such words
definition
as
of
such
it is
as
wrong.
nonsense, please learn to listen or join Mr.
So by
Judge there.
him saying that he did not manipulate the data, he's lying because he has.
He has.
Removing
That's
the
basically
zero.
what we are saying. We
Oh
are
my
not saying
God.
it was bad or good. We know that there's bad and good manipulation of data. But to put a disclaimer of saying that it's not data manipulation, that is
disclaimer
false.
is false. He should remove it. And I
So
don't understand why
you can
he put
add
it there.
the bad and good and whatnot. I don't have a problem with people who argue. But if you are going to come and put the word nonsense, then make sure you get your facts correct.
Go and Google it right now if you are lost. A picture of a person wearing a traditional attire. Baloy asked, what do the date and time stand for? And Mabasa said the date and time stand for when the picture was created or sent to the device. And Mabasa said, picture of two gentlemen. The picture was not clear. Trying to stretch it made it worse. Picture of two gentlemen next to the car, a picture of a man sitting in a car, image of a gentleman with others in 2014, 10/26, the time was 1731. 1731, just before the incident. So Baloyi then said the appearance of the gentleman. Mabasa said, we see a gentleman with dreadlocks and an earring wearing a lumber jacket. Is it beige or what color? Guys.
In a sense,
Inhale this.
making the data analyst of the SAPS to comment on a color that the people that were in the house and the neighbors could not comment on.
2014, 11/22, 13:33, picture of gentleman standing on the stairs looking hurt on the left hand. Picture of a gentleman wearing a red shirt. This was 2014, 11/23. Gentleman with dreads and gold teeth wearing blue, black, red, and yellow t-shirts. 3 gentlemen enjoying themselves. 1 gentleman wearing dreadlocks, the other 2 wearing hoodies. 2014, 10/26, 17:28. This is the time, 17:28. The first gentleman with dreads and the other one wearing a hoodie next to the car. First gentleman is wearing a beige trouser and a beige jacket. A picture of a gentleman with dreadlocks saved as Indlamanzi with a W. And a gentleman with dreadlocks, Indlamanzi. 3 gentlemen standing next to the car. Guys, those are the pictures. Of course, we are not allowed to see them, remember, because we are in that position where we can't see the exhibits. And these ones were not displayed ones. So I'm going through them quickly. So the 3 gentlemen standing next to the car enjoying themselves. Baloyi wanted the hairstyle of the one in the middle to be put on the record. Mabasa said the hairstyle of one in the middle has dreadlocks. 2 gentlemen looking at a phone and the appearance of a gentleman on the right of the photo. The gentleman has dreadlocks and earrings. 2 gentlemen standing next to each other. Hairstyle of the one on the left, dreadlocked, 2014, 11/05, 18/22. A picture of 5 gentlemen seems to be enjoying, and the hairstyle of the gentleman seated in the left is dreadlocks. A picture of 2 gentlemen in hats. Baloyi corrected Mabasa from hoodies to saying that it was hats. Okay? 2 guys sitting on a bed in a taxi, a gentleman sitting inside, a picture of 3 gentlemen standing next to a bakkie, blue and white. 5 gentlemen seem to be enjoying themselves. Another picture of 5 gentlemen, 3 gentlemen. A gentleman standing next to the pole seems to be talking to the phone. A picture of a kumbi or a taxi. A picture of 3 gentlemen. A picture of different people. Baloyi asked for description of the gentleman in the bottom left corner of the picture, and Mabasa said a gentleman with dreadlocks and a beige jacket. Now, that we couldn't see. And Mabasa said a picture written "My Killing Machine," which was 2014 10/06 of a firearm. It's a silver and gold firearm. Then a picture of a rifle, a 9mm pistol on a car seat. Now the guy was already convicted for possession of an illegal firearm. This is suspect number 3. So in my head, I kept asking myself, okay, fine, you have his pictures, but what was the point? How do you link this with what happened to Senzo?
Because
why are we
look,
not permitted to see the
this is
exhibits?
self-explanatory. Look at the pictures are saying, imali mpande so no. Meaning you do anything in a sense. I mean, he's leaving the judge to interpret, giving a judge something to think about, and while repeatedly giving the dreadlocks, hey, this guy with this color, all those things, then there is a gun, there is money, here is that money of Mbande sword. So yes, that sort of gives the vibes of that theory, what do we call it? The theory of mastermind, you get paid and then you put your money there, Malimpande so on.
And another thing we also have to consider is because we are not seeing the exhibits for ourselves, we literally have to take their word for it without deliberating for sure if the person in the picture is the person in the picture. You just have to take it and believe it. Even the journalist in court did not see those images as they were being displayed. Apparently, he was looking at them on the exhibit on the file. And also, it brings the question of, okay, for the blurry ones, don't we have like softwares that are able to enhance pictures in 2023? What is happening? And there was a long adjournment. And Advocate Baloyi, as soon as they came back from adjournment, said that the accused could not see the pictures and therefore requests that they start all over again.
Yeah, I don't normally remove people, but because I don't mind if you attack us, but if you are going to trouble people who are on the comments, that's where I'm going to remove
Bye. Bye. We need to have healthy conversations.
Yes.
We can't be cussing each other. We can't be disrespecting.
I don't normally
each other.
remove people. Even
we can't be disrespecting.
Even if
each
you
other.
hate,
Please, guys, keep
you are
it
still
respectful in
supporting
the
me.
comments.
I don't have a problem. If you hate, you are still supporting me. There's no good and bad support.
We
For
are
me,
adults.
it's all good.
We're
But
not kids.
if you are starting to go against the people on the comments, then that's a different story.
No. You can't be cussing.
I think you are the
people out.
first one that we have removed. Yeah, so
He's
continue.
the- Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We hardly remove people
Yeah.
over here. So Advocate Judge Baloyi said that they will begin the process afresh of looking at the photos found of accused number 3 Mthobisi Ngcube's phone because they were not showing on the screen in court. Imagine all that time. All the time. They started over after adjournment. So they started from scratch. But me on my part, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to
basically
let you know,
what was happening is an addition of time and date, right?
they added dates, not just time, dates.
After
And
saying that
most
some of the
dates-
pictures don't have dates. And that's where it started to lose that thing of adding dates. And then later, you bring dates.
Yes, and then it continued.
And
So I
most of
picked
those
up
dates are in
from where it
almost
continued.
1 month, which is October.
A picture of a firearm was saved as my killing machine, which was in 2014, 10:06. Silver and a gold 9mm pistol. 2014, 10:03, then a picture of a rifle and a 9mm on a car seat. And Mabasa, 2014, 10:06, this picture with multiple firearms is saved as Intsimbi Ehlanyisa Olova, a machine that makes gentlemen go wild. And Baloyi said, can you describe the firearms? Then Mabasa said, most of them are 9mm pistols and ammunition. So a picture saved as Ishia Bazali, which is Z7.75 9mm, 2014 0902. A magazine and two firearms, 9mm. A picture of a 9mm, an axe and a panga, and a picture of a gentleman standing next to a car with dreadlocks, 2014 November 06.
Let me tell you something. If those pictures were showed by the defense, the question of where you going with this would have come.
Yes. a picture 2014 November 02, a picture of a kumbi or a taxi. Now, this is where we start noticing now that after adjournment, the dates were added on every single picture now. Every single picture. A picture of 6 gentlemen. That one, its date was 2014 09/30. Another one with a gentleman with dreadlocks, 2014 10/26. 2014 10/26.
You know what is missing?
What
this
is
is a
missing?
picture that is literally saying "Nginkabi mean."
What about the one of him entering? Might as well just take a selfie entering the Spaza house. Why not? Work shot and I.
Yeah, that's what was missing.
Then Baloy asked for the hairstyle, and Mabasa said dreadlocks. 2 gentlemen standing next to the wall, 2014 10/26. Mabasa said the other has money and a revolver and a 39mm pistol. And Baloy said, looking at the screen, are you able to tell denominations of those bundles of money? And Mabasa said it's plus minus 6,000. It's 50 rands, 100 rands, and 200 rand notes. I cannot see clearly. Then Baloy said, are these the only photos stored on the phone? And Mabasa said, those are the ones I compiled, are the ones requested by the investigating officer. Baloy said, are these the only photos from the memory card? And Mabasa said, there were a lot of photos from the memory card. The ones I have compiled are the ones that were identified and requested by the investigating officer. Then there was a spreadsheet and a chart of accused number 3 Mtobisi Ngcube's phone records. It had contacts, incoming calls or outgoing calls, and a lot of other stuff. And Baloy, who downloaded the information from the device, asked Mabasa, and he said, Sergeant Nkosi, upon request by the investigating officer or investigation officer, I have to go back into the archives and compile this report. The date he was given it was the 17th of August 2020. After compiling this report, what did you do? Asked Baloy. And he said, I kept the information on my laptop and other info I copied into a CD and handed it to the investigation officer as a working copy. He used the copy to identify the pictures I've compiled here. And Baloy said, do you confirm the correctness of your report? And Mabasa said, yes, I confirm. And Baloy said, is there anything you wish to add? And he said he was done. Sipho Ramusipili said that he had no questions for this witness. How did you feel about that?
I think you did the right thing. If you don't have anything to ask, it's okay to let others, and considering that the number of witnesses that are still coming might be a lot. I mean, if you
maybe
feel,
it's because his client is not directly implicated with regards to this
and
one.
and indeed he gave it to a right person, which is Mnisi.
So Charles Mnisi cross-examined, and Mnisi took him to the picture of 2 gentlemen, with one on the right wearing beige clothes with dreadlocks. Mnisi said, I'm not asking for what you said, I'm asking you to describe what you see in the picture. And Mabasa said, I see guys standing next to the wall with cans. Mnisi said, you must tell me what you are seeing when you are done, because Mnisi here had a problem with him stating what he saw, as in like dreadlocks and beige clothing only, and not stating other things, because the question he said he posed to him was, can you describe what you are seeing, not what you've been told to see. There's a difference. And Mabasa decided to say the one on the right was wearing dreadlocks, a beige jacket and a beige trouser. The other one is wearing a red jacket and a blue jean, and the houses next to where they are. And then he said he was done. Now, Mnisi asked, is this the same description that you gave in your evidence in chief? You are asking me to elaborate what I'm seeing. This is now the response of Mabasa. Firstly, I described the picture. I went for the person in question as I was asked by the investigation officer, and described the person as I see him there. Now the judge interjected here to ask, did you say Baloy is the investigation officer? That the investigation officer is in court? Then Mabasa said, I'm talking about Brigadier Gininda. Then Mnisi asked, why did you decide to give a description that came as a request from Mr. Gininda here at the court? And Mabasa said, the advocate asked me to describe the person on the right side of the picture.
By the way, Emily, just to correct a few things here, because the format of the picture, JPG, it was explained as something that signifies a format of a camera. It's a lie from the experts. That thing is a format of a file of whatever picture that you take. So you can Photoshop without shooting. You just Photoshop the thing and then save it the way you want to save it.
JPEG.
Yes, you do it all the time. So this thing of coming here with this experience and it just, and people
Another
just
format
go
is
understand.
PNG.
The other one is JPEG.
JPEG. That's
Yes.
the one I'm used to. So that's the format of the picture. It doesn't.
I'm talking about something that you can do. You can just take a photo now and mix and go and clear, remove the background, put your background. You can edit it. You can do a lot and then go save that picture as a picture in whatever format that you want. It does not show or tell you that, oh, this format is a camera so and so. There's no such thing.
Well, with photo 3, the prosecutor never said that, can you describe what you are seeing out of your own will? You said, I see so and so. That's why you are saying it's the prosecutor. Then Mabasa said, we had been doing the same thing with the photos and he wanted me to do the same thing with the rest of the photos. And Mnisi said, so has he always been saying to you, can you please describe the person you are seeing on the right-hand side of the photo? And Mabasa said, not always. I was advised to do so by him. But Lois stood to object. What is the line of this questioning? And then Mnisi said it's about credibility, to test the witness's credibility. And Baloyi objected again and said, my colleague was in court. If there's anything he wants to put, he can put it to the witness. I don't know why he should inquire from the witness how the state led the witness. If he wants to put a version, then let him do so. But what is the purpose of him to regurgitate how the state was leading him? Then Mnisi said, did he say you should describe the person on the photo, on all the photos you've just described? Then Mabasa said, not only the person on the right, some in the left, or yes, he has always been asking me to describe the same person. And Mnisi said, why do you see dreadlocks there, Mabasa? On his head. Why do you say they are dreadlocks? Then Mabasa said, there's lines in his head. Mnisi said, please demonstrate for the court where those lines are. And Mabasa pointed the head because he has lines in his head, therefore he has dreadlocks. Mabasa then said, because I can see it's dreadlocks. Are you a hair specialist, sir? That's Mnisi asking. Then Baloyi said, we are. Baloyi objected to say, where are we? We are where we were yesterday. The judge faulted Mnisi for starting at the end and not going through every single picture of people or persons
what is wrong with
who
that?
had dreadlocks.
What is wrong with that?
I don't know.
If you decide to go and study when you study at the center of whatever that you need to study and go back or go forward because you think that is crucial on your exam.
Yes.
What is wrong with that? Now you should start with questions that it doesn't have.
One. Most of the time you start with the question you studied the most.
Now you should start with questions that it doesn't have. What if I don't have questions at the beginning? What is wrong with that?
I didn't understand. And he brought it up again. You can put it to the witness that they don't have
Don't
dreadlocks.
fall to that thing. Once you say you can put it, just pretend as if you didn't hear this man. Because once you put it, he's going to come back and say and defend. Actually rub off whatever that you just said.
Then Mnisi said, is it not for the witness to say that? Judge Ratam Hwatleng told Mnisi to get to the meat of his cross-examination. So Mnisi said, in terms of R versus Hepworth, it says that the court should not just be an armchair critic and a couch potato when necessary, get into the arena and clear issues that are not clear. So the judge sent someone to fetch a red book. And Mshololo asked for an adjournment, and the judge said, you should take an adjournment. Imagine you are sitting there as part of the accused, and this happens. Yo, Mr. Anonymous, Nkaluma red book. Nkaluma red book.
Guys, just like the video, subscribe. Please like the video, subscribe. And for those who do not know how it is done, there is that thing there that shows you how to like the video. We are on 700. We have 300 people that have liked the video. Can we push it at least to 600?
600, please. Can we push it? Push it. Then Baloyi said he had the notes, he had the book actually, and he read and said, R versus Hepworth. They are dealing with an unprecedented accused or unrepresented accused.
Unrepresented, yes.
The judge was looking for the part where they say that the party was not being taken advantage of. But Baloyi said he was reading something else.
He was reading what Mnisi was saying, actually.
Oh, that's why he...
This
Nkaloma red book, guys. Yo! And the judge found it. They gave him the red book and he started reading. A criminal trial is not a judge, is an administrator of justice. He is not to conduct but to see to it that justice is done. That's when I was like, blah, blah, blah in my head. It doesn't change the fact that you speak for witnesses, Judge Rata Mwatleng.
Exactly. And not to seek clarity, not to balance the grounds where you defend the defense, you also defend
to get them off quickly.
No, you just...
So that you can take whatever you're
Yeah. That's what it looks like. It's like, get it over and done with. I want to hear Baloyi speak.
Then Mnisi said, you see the man you identified in that picture on the right is accused number 3 here in court. And there is no doubt about that. Mabasa said, oh, okay. What is Mnisi's strategy here? I was like ready to deny. What is the strategy? Why is he admitting that that's accused number 3 on the pictures?
No, it's fine. He must admit that is him.
Okay.
You know, I mean, looking at this judge, if you do that, he's gonna point at things now. He's gonna start, isn't this looking like his nose and all? He's right, and he does that after the arguments. Yeah, yes. My lord, this is him. And what can you do? You deny. You pretend as if, why did you admit? Oh, is that so? No.
They all look shocked, by the way.
You actually would like that.
They look shocked. They're like, oh, okay, you're admitting after so much argument.
What is wrong with admitting? Those pictures are not incriminating. He hasn't admitted anything that is wrong.
All right.
It's his pictures. If this is Emily, this is Emily's pictures. Yeah, you are right, by the way. This is Emily's pictures.
It sounds like we are defending a criminal. But we cannot... Is it fair to link to something that he didn't do? Already he's been convicted for the crimes that he committed, right?
And that's where people are going. Other people are saying, these people are already...
So just because you're a criminal, you must take
just
the
because
burden of
there,
other crimes.
Doesn't mean that now everything must be...
Everything must be pointed at you.
Someone must have touched someone somewhere in Johannesburg. It's you.
So Mabasa then said, Mnisi said he's appearing in a number of pictures in the album you compiled. And Mabasa said yes. So you said you attached the POCC, Provincial Operation Coordination Center, since 2013 as an analyst. Mabasa said yes. How long have you been involved in downloading of information in the SAPS? And Mabasa said almost 20 years as a member of SAPS and 10 years as a downloader. So the XYR program is what qualified him to be an analyst. And Mnisi then lost me on the interrogation of the information from cellular devices and stuff, and the information downloaded some of the compromising of the photos. So, yeah, we do not have the photos upon request. So, Mr. Anonymous, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. I think we can open the lines now.
Yeah, just open the lines. That means early night for me.
Let's open the lines.
Yeah, the lines are
Really?
open. The lines are open.
Really?
Please like the video,
Really?
by the way, guys. Before we even go to the lines, please like the video. Like the video.
We are still begging
Those
for
who
likes.
have not, and I thank those who have liked the video. Thank you. There are those who even remember when they come in, they subscribe, they do everything. Those who need to subscribe and do everything. But for those who forgot, perhaps because they were dealing with whatever that we're dealing with also during the day,
Yeah.
please like the video. Let me open the lines. The lines are officially open. The thing is, it is difficult not to find yourself in a position of having to talk about this, all that this is happening. And hello, Mzansi Reality. Hello.
Hey, hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
We're good, and you?
I'm all right, man.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Anonymous.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You are live.
Am I on?
Yes, you're on.
Oh, I'm live. Okay. Now, man, Emily, how are you?
I'm good. And you?
I'm all right.
Yeah, let's
Man,
get into it.
Yeah, man, I'm having a bit of a concern here.
Yeah.
It looks like our defense are not doing a research, in terms of this analysis of phones and pictures. Unless if maybe they're going to bring their own, I can say, specialists, maybe from the service providers, to come and give us a clear picture of whatever that is happening with this linking of cell phone.
Yes.
Because what I'm seeing here is that they're pushing the dreadlock guy. Because of, remember, Zandi said the intruder, there was one with the dreadlock.
Yes.
He saw the dreadlock, but he couldn't see the face of the person. And then there's this Mapiri's daughter, who says
Sister.
the same thing that the sister,
Yeah.
Yes.
that the two guys running, passing the car. He saw the one with the dreadlock,
Dreadlocks.
but he can't pinpoint from this guy that this is the one with the dreadlocks or what. The facial appearance, he can't say. So now, it looks like now the state is now trying to link the cell phones to the guy, to the dreadlock, so that it can have that thing of, there was a guy inside the house with a dreadlock, so that means it's this guy because of his phone. It's now linked to whatever that they're trying to link. At the end of the day, I can't get the connection.
No.
Because now today they were talking about pictures that were not even linked to the matter, to everything that happened for us. So I'm a bit confused, but I wish the defense can go and make their research and come up with somebody who can come and back this linking thing. That is it possible or what? Because if you can come up with a specialist who can say that this is not possible, then the state doesn't have a case. This linking of cell phone doesn't stand. And another thing that I've noticed, I want to ask Anonymous, are these lawyers, defense lawyers, are they working together to build a case, a strong case to defend their client? Or is it like, you work for yourself?
They seemingly, for this year, I would say I see them working more together, because even they give each other a chance. Like for Ramsipi not to stand up and let Nisi deal with things that are pertaining his client. And then Mshololo stood up also which, I mean, even if it didn't, it wouldn't have done much harm, but poke some holes. So there is a bit of cohesion there. Better than when Tifo was there, because with Tifo it was Mshololo and Tifo.
Yeah, but man, do you know that O.J. Simpson trial? Did you follow that trial? Did you see the defense lawyer? How clever they were. Whenever the state come up with something, they always have either somebody, a specialized somebody who will deal with the footprint, or they will always be one step ahead from the state. But now this one here, there are four of them. They should have one who's going to pick that one. Ramusibiri comes, and then Ministry, and then the third guy, and then Mshololo would be the one who now, level everything. Not repeating that Ramusibiri said, or not repeating Ministry what Ministry asked for said. They will have a sequence of saying this will be the last. When now we nail this person or we grind this witness. But I'm not seeing that cohesion. I'm just seeing that somebody's there saying that, somebody come again and ask the same thing differently. I don't know. I don't know. I wish they can just sit down and get their act together and see how they follow their line of questioning. And then they have that last person who now is the one who will know that this one is going to get something. You grind and grind and grind. The last person now, you finish it off. I think they can come up with something, because there are so many loopholes here.
Yeah. Like
yesterday was supposed now today start with that contradiction of it actually ended well. I thought he's gonna start there. He said he's gonna check the towers and whatever. He didn't even say anything about the towers. You see?
Yeah.
So
we hear you.
Yeah, that's the way I see it.
Oh, thank you very much.
An expert is needed, Lapaya, from the network provider. Okay, SPS side eye. Bombastic side eye. Konintesha die.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we cannot get the jury. Someone on WhatsApp is saying the jury is needed. If I was in the jury, I will find all the witnesses. You want to say, let's go. Zanzi, hello.
Accused.
Hi guys, how are you?
Good, and you?
Great. I just have one thing with Missy today. A good lawyer will never throw their client under the bus. At any point, you deny until the state can prove what they are showing you. You don't say to the state, you are correct. When Missy said that is my client on that picture, he threw his client under the bus. It's the state's job to prove that beyond reasonable doubt, the man that is on that photo is indeed his client. There's many apps right now, there's filters, there's many things, there's lookalikes. Everybody has a lookalike. Emily, you have a lookalike. Mr. Anonymous, you have a lookalike.
Yes.
It's the state's job to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the man in that picture is indeed accused number 3. He threw his client under the bus by confirming that the picture belongs to the client. That for me was the worst. He threw the client under the bus because he did the job for the state. The state was supposed to prove that is his, or the client themselves were supposed to say that is me, and the client has not said that. The client has not said that is me. But now if you as the lawyer are actually connecting the dots for the state, it's a problem. He connected. That's why the lawyer was like, oh, yes, he made everything so easy for the state when he actually did the work for the state. The state could not prove that is him.
Exactly.
Lucy could have denied that. Yes, Minister should have denied that. I denied that this is my client. This is not my client. If you say it's my client, prove it. Whoever alleges must prove. That's the law. Whoever alleges must prove. The state must prove that that person in the picture is the accused number 3. And they did not do that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we get you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
It did feel like that. I didn't want to comment much on it, but I was like, why? Why on earth would you do that, Mr. Mnisi? You don't have to. Why are you making the state's job so easy?
Mzansi Reality, hello. Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Hi, Mr. Anonymous, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Can I get on the line?
Yes, you are on the line.
Oh, okay. I'm an expertise when it comes to cell phones.
Okay.
And one thing that I heard in court today that is not approved, and I don't know how SAPS approves that, because social IMEIs are only disclosed by your service provider. When you sign a contract, that is disclosed. That's the POPI Act, first of all. So your service provider has to disclose that information to whatever case it is. But now, how do they get to what's happening on the cell phone? Because that becomes a different conversation.
Okay.
I'll allude on the biggest case that has ever happened of Hush Puppy. Hush Puppy was using iPhone.
Yes.
iPhone disclosed they're not going to give that information because that's your protection with your OEM, which is your Samsung and all the other brands. They have to disclose that information. But in terms of calling, what they alluded on the IMEI, yes, that's correct. On the IMES, that's correct in terms of your SIM card, because IMEI and IMES is two different things that align together, because your phone, IMEI, also alludes to your IP address. That's why you can actually make a call and stuff like that. But how does the state get that from a third party company for them to actually approve that? That's fabricated information, because a service provider has to provide that information. They have to code to say, Vodacom provided this because you are using our service. MTN provided this because you are using that information. And so is any other telco store, which includes your Telcom, South Sea, MTN, whatever network provider that you actually use. So how does the state get that from a third-party application? Because now it breaches your POPI Act.
It does.
The private information is exposed to everyone else, which is wrong from the first go. So the state, from 2020, that's when the guys received that. How can you retrieve information from there? You need to get disclaimer from Vodacom, MTN, South Sea, and Telcom. They can provide. They're only people who can provide you with that information. Anything beyond that is fabricated information because it's not accurate from the get-go. So how they got those records without Canel even approve is like, no, the investigators need to do that. I don't know. That information was provided to me. And I put it on a spreadsheet. That's all he said, because he knows you cannot get access to that information. Because Vodacom cannot check out your call records unless there is an oath to say, listen, we are busy with this case and this and this and this and this. But now the problem becomes on what? IP address, which is your IMEI, which is your phone. You can change 100 SIM cards, but whatever information that you have on your phone, they cannot disclose it, because now Apple loses customers. Samsung loses customers. All the other brands loses customers because now they have to disclose that information. They only caught Hush Puppy FBI, South Africa doesn't have such tech as them. They don't have such tech as it. They only caught him because of a live location from an Instagram post. And they were there in 5 minutes. Because now, when you have an Instagram post, it's internet locked. He doesn't control the internet. Instagram is controlled by a certain person. It could be me, it could be you, Mr. Anonymous. But now, if you look at all these things, they're all interlinked. Apple has a relationship with Google, and so is Samsung, and so is all the other big brands. So if they want certain information, they can get it through Zach Zuckerberg. He owns Instagram, he owns all these things.
Yes.
So with a live location, they can pick up your IMEI address without picking up your cell phone information.
I get you.
But now, SAPS subs. FBI failed all the top biggest people. Hush Puppy was on the loose for a very long time. But they couldn't catch him because they went to Apple. Apple was like, no, we're not going to do that with our customers. Samsung did the same thing because they're going to lose customers.
Yeah.
Because each and every thief uses a smartphone. If you use a smartphone, it's easy for you to catch you anytime now. So how does cops have that information, even get to your pictures, even know what's on your memory card? That's not possible.
We're advanced in South Africa.
And we don't have that much tech. The FBI had so much tech. Hush Puppy had the most biggest companies, Chelsea. You understand? So how does SAP get to such a small case? Not small in a way, but how do they get to that integrity? They can even disclose image, what. I can get that from a memory card with my flipping USB and my laptop without using a bigger software. I'm not working for SAP, so I can do that. But SAP, they can't even say, Vodacom gave us this. You know why?
They couldn't say it.
Because Vodacom will never disclose that information because of the POPI Act. They respect their customers and they keep their customers in line.
That's why they keep on saying service provider.
Exactly, because that's the biggest thing. They can't disclose that because it's called customer confidentiality information. Even when you sign your contract at Vodacom, they never, even them giving it to your own mutual just for them to sell you insurance, they can't do that because of the POPI Act. They need to respect the POPI Act. How does SAP get to that?
Wow.
How do they get to that?
How did they get to that?
It's very weird. I follow the case. I'm a big fan of Senzo Meyiwa. I played with him, by the way. So
yeah,
I don't like what's happening, and I feel like the defense. So I'm not gonna say they're uneducated because they have everything, but I feel like they don't know. It's like me going to school and like I want to be a lawyer, but I don't understand what's being a lawyer.
Yes.
I don't understand respecting that person that I'm going to represent at the end of the day. And it's very sad. Like, it's very sad. I wish we find justice, but all those guys are sitting there with the information I heard out of records of saying this. Cornell didn't know anything. The guy who came up today doesn't even know what IMEI and IMEPS and how does that information get. You can't use any third-party information. You can't.
Yeah.
That is only disclosed by Vodacom, Southie, MTN, Telkom. Nobody can disclose that information. They have it on record for, I think it's 25 years plus.
Yeah.
That's the max they can give you back on their archives because they're still using servers because we don't have eSIM, it's FA, so it's a different ball game. So.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, bud.
Thank you.
I like you guys so much. I always follow you guys. Give me updates when I'm at work. Sometimes I get lost. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch. But you guys always give me the updates. Big up, guys. Love you so much. Thank you for what you guys.
Thank you very much for your insight.
Thank you for calling with your expertise.
Thank you. Here we go.
A round of applause. Laba shay hlome, laba shay hlome, laba shay hlome. I'm always happy when people who work with these things call in. Because, when you know in your gut that something is not right here, but you can't say it because you don't have the expertise. The best bet you have is Google. Hi, Mr. Anonymous. You have Google. That's all you have. And you want to ask around. And people who work in the cell phone company world are very hard to come by.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Because we're getting more insight from you guys. So, let me get this one. Zanzi, hello. Hello, how are you?
Oh, hey, Zanzi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. And you?
Okay, thanks guys for taking my call. I'm doing good.
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to say, if you go further with the last caller, even the issue of the pictures. The guy was arrested for a possession of a firearm.
Yes.
So they need to show why they went for his picture. That the picture had nothing to do with the firearm. So we need to understand why, because clearly what they're trying to do, they're trying to link him to a crime that had nothing to do with why he was arrested.
So using pictures,
so,
they are linking.
Yes, they are trying to link him, but he was not arrested for that. Yeah, he was not arrested for that. And with another caller that said the lawyer should have admitted that was his client. I think he did that mistake, but maybe he should have went further and just say, so, okay, that was my client, but you don't even have him in the vicinity of the crime. You don't keep committing a crime, just his picture. So what are you trying to tell the court with all these pictures? I guess that's the only way he can come back from that, because that's the same mistake he did yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's yesterday or last week.
No, it's
yesterday. He did the same mistake. By the way, they know each other and blah, blah, blah. But then he should have went further and say, so what are you trying to tell the court? Yeah, okay, we know they know each other. They talk to each other, but so what are you trying to tell the court? And, so I mean, he's falling short, and it's very sad because those brothers are going back to jail every day. But then the lawyer is falling short. And just two last points. I think the issue of the jury in South Africa, we really need a jury, because they're taking to my second point, that the term that the burden of proof for the state in South Africa is so low. That's why we're getting witnesses like this. These guys are just showing up to court just to tell us nothing.
Yes.
They're just saying nothing, but those guys are going to jail anyway. So we need a jury so that can help us with the state can have more of the burden of the proof. Because their evidence is not collaborating nothing. They're just going to court and saying nothing. But those guys are going to jail anyway.
No, thank you very much, man.
Yeah, no, that's it, guys. I don't want to take too much time. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you. Thank you.
Zanzi, hello.
Hi, guys.
Hi, how are you?
I'm content. How are you?
We are good.
Okay. I think Missy, she did a good job by admitting that this is the client. No why? Because remember, as these guys are there, whoever when these people committed this crime, he did the homework. I'm sure he even knows the size of the fish they are taking. So, they have other pictures of them. They know everything about them, even about their family, everything. So, and then remember, he communicates with his clients. He knows that even if they can show the picture of him with the gun, doesn't mean he's involved in this case. So these pictures he's taking us nowhere. it's taking us nowhere, and I think state is just wasting time.
Yeah.
So I'm sure state was very disappointed with the witness, this guy, because when he started, it was so much wow, the information. At the end, the person that has 2 years experience, and when they ask him questions now, he can't answer. He mentioned that someone was in Kimberley, Limpopo.
Yes.
When he was talking about that now, he had nothing to say. The time Mrs. said to him yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, he said to him, not unless you think good first. And then they went for the break. Because I think the lawyers, they already see that these people, the information that they think they have, they don't have it. They've been told what to say. So, and also, Kelly, okay, I think she was going to perform somewhere. I saw on Twitter, they cancelled her. Guilty or not guilty, she don't supposed to be performing anyway, because her name is been mentioned in this case so many times, not as a victim even. So at least we are going somewhere as a country. And also one more thing, I don't think the judge is doing a good job. That's what I think, because I remember after this witness finished to testify, the judge asked him 2 questions. He even better asked him that there's any cause to have rejected the testimony. From him was a big no. No, my lord. I think the reason the judge was going to that direction, I don't think he was happy about he was busy the court at the time. Because look at this way, if he was doing a good job, the judge was not going to ask him anything. And the judge opened the rooms now for the defense to ask him further questions. They said, guys, we don't have any questions. I'm glad some people stood up as well as Mshololo. So it was very clear to everyone. This guy was just wasting his time. He doesn't know anything. He got a 40 years experience as a police. That's what experience that he has. 2 years. He's not even started his 2 years. He's attending those short calls that if you are working the papers, they say, okay, go attend these calls, things like that. You cannot say now you're going to go to a big company and claim that you are qualified because you are attending those short calls like that. So, guys, I'm not even worried about these 2 guys, even the one that is on the stand now. Whatever that is going to say, I'm not interested. I'm just waiting for people that were in the house because it's where the truth will come from.
Yes.
No,
it's where the truth will come from. Yes. Thank you so much, guys, for the show.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Right. The last person, please like the video, share the video, subscribe if you are not subscribed. Just keep on reminding you how to do it. As you do that, I'm going to be taking one call of whoever is going to call now, and that will be it for me. I miss this guy. I missed it. I'm just going to call him back.
Hello?
Sorry, man, I missed your call.
No, it's all good. How you doing, Mr. Anonymous? How are you, Emily?
Oh, hi.
That's why I called.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thanks for calling me back.
Thank you for the voice note.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I caught the show kind of late, so I didn't catch if you responded or not. So I've only been listening for about 30 minutes or so. But, no problem. You know, I called you before anyway. Right? Yeah. I just wanted to make my little points real quick. Small little, basically, off the voice note earlier. So I just think this is interesting. With all of this stuff from the cell phone analysis and all this data and whatnot, I think the state shot themselves in the foot because the only interesting information that honestly from me that came out of all of this is that Kelly's implicated. Right, you know, that Kelly had communication with these people because they're talking about these guns and these photos and people being seen with the guns, but I thought that the gun that we were all looking for from the beginning was a revolver and not the guns that they were saying pictures.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Yeah, so we should all be, like, even though they're on a different docket at this point, still, I think if they're saying that a bullet killed Senzo from a revolver, then we should be focused on a revolver. And if any evidence, it's just like red herring information. I don't know. I haven't really been following this whole week too closely with all of this, so it's kind of boring, to be honest with you. I know what they're saying, who's implicated and stuff like that, but I haven't been following too close with that. I think it's kind of, I don't know. It's to the point where they had to have Mshololo kind of dispute that for the sake of her own client. But anyway, I just think for people to hold on to the revolver information and that Kelly, her name came up, and it's bizarre to me that, like I was saying before, that they knew from their investigation that she had communication, but she was never a suspect. That's bizarre. But anyway, and sorry for my raspy my voice, but I made a point about the judge. I still like this judge, man. Listen, I think he's very, what do you call that? Assertive and objective and whatnot, and you gotta give him a chance, because what most judges do across the world, like good judges, any country is what I mean, is that they entertain both sides. It doesn't even matter if there's a case against like a double homicide or something like that. They provoke both sides to bring their case. So I know at times it seems like he's helping this side or helping that side or whatnot, but the old judge, he leaned heavily on the state. It was disgusting. You understand? So he wasn't doing very much what this guy's doing. So, and he's retired, this one, and so he has no interest, in my opinion. He's got no cases, so he's got nothing to, he's got no case next week here to deal with, and this one. He wants to see this thing through. That's why they called him, So I think this is like a blessing in disguise. I think the families are the ones who's going to benefit the most out of everyone who's saying, oh, this judge now he's starting to be blah, blah, blah. It's about the families getting closure for once and for all once this thing is done. Yeah. So I just, that's basically my couple of points I wanted to make. I didn't know if you guys, if anyone had talked about the revolver again since we heard about it before. That was all.
Yeah.
No one has. But yeah, thank you for a call for calling, and I called you back because I used your voice note.
Yes, you used your voice note.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I used your voice note because
thank you for
I agree with
us.
some of the points. I disagree with some of them, but you'll hear on the video.
Okay, yeah, I'll play it back like always do. No problem.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
But we are traumatized by Maumela, honestly speaking. So I think for me, in my personal opinion, I have no patience.
Hello, thank you for taking my call.
Yes.
I'll be quick, I promise. Hello, this is Emily.
Hi.
I just want to comment about this deviation, especially with what the state is now doing. I think it's a deliberate deviation, like from the main important people that came in as witnesses. They couldn't really identify the suspects, right? So what's the point of bringing somebody who was never like in the house to bring that person to identify the people, and yet you were not there? For me, I think it's just like a deviation, like it's done on purpose. Remember that time Zandi came in and gave her testimony, right? And then Tabitha came in with a totally different version from what Zandi said, right? You see, that time there was this spark, like we were going somewhere, and then Baloyi felt the heat, and then he just decided like to cool down everything and deviate from there. It's just something deliberate. And it's time wasting, in my opinion. Yeah. That's my contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Remember,
Everything
before
said
De
here
Novo
is alleged.
allegedly. Before De Novo, we were questioning why is he bringing in Musia and Tetwa first? What about the people in the house? And now he brought one, which was Zandile Khumalo, De Novo, and he's resorted back to that thing again. It's now next week. Maybe they should have paused Colonel Steyn and brought the people in the house, because that's the people whose testimonies we want to hear. Those testimonies from the people who were in the house are more important at this stage of the trial.
I like people pick and choose here. Paul is saying, leave the testimony. We are focusing on mastermind. And then, look, guys, it was nice having you here. Thank you very much. It has been a long week for me, so I need to rest because, but I'm not going to do that if someone is calling like this. Mzansi, hello.
Mr. How are you?
Good, and how are you, sir?
I'm good, sir. Yeah, I was speaking to Sipo, sir. Let me first thank you, guys. I just hope these guys do watch your show. There's some great minds we call here.
Yes.
With some people, some great intellect. I for one, I think it is clear that it's obvious that this is a very political case. And I'm not sure if you guys have watched the video of Senzo Meyiwa.
Yes.
I think there's a link on YouTube. It's just 10 minutes video. It's on a channel called Judicial.
Yes.
I think there he explains, if you want to understand who Kineda is, you watch that video and you understand how he's connected to this case.
Yes.
And I think here it's pretty much clear, guys. I remember I once called and I explained the political hand in this case. And I mean, we might twist our hands and pretend as if that the judge is neutral, these are his tricks, these are his skills. But this is not the case, guys. The defense is being intimidated here. And at times when they're about to ask critical questions, they're just being shut down. And unfortunately, I think before was very smart. Because one thing, South Africa does not have a jury, but South Africa is one thing. South Africa has a very, very strong public court. So once you get the attention of the public court, the attention of the masses, then it is you see what people did. People created a public outcry, and which forced. You see what was happening to Kelly Khumalo now. She's starting to be cancelled and all those things. So it's putting pressure on the public because South Africa reality that the judiciary state it is not neutral. It is controlled by whoever is governing, and whoever is governing is a political party. So it's difficult for them to remain neutral whenever there's a public outcry because politicians depend on masses. And if you can check now, the public narrative, because we're moving to elections this month, Julius Malema and them are starting to come out now and say, no, Kelly Khumalo and them are created because they will always side with what the public wants now. Because the public can see that these guys who were inside the house killed defense or whatever thing allegedly, but it happened inside the house. They were not intruders. People can see now. So I think what these lawyers can do now is to try and win the public court. Try and put it to the judge and put it to everyone. I think I love Mrs. attitude now, and she's trying to stand up to the judge and try to put it to court here. You know, people, this court actually, and these guys, I don't think they're using their power because it is difficult to deal with 5 lawyers. Because I think if we can strategize, one can just deal with the emotions of the witness, and the other one deals with the technical part. You know, and it's small things. I remember watching this other big case in the United States. I can't just remember the name. And it was 3 lawyers. And the first lawyer would ask us all the witnesses the same question: are you aware that it is a crime to permit to do prejudice in prejudice? Prejudice is lying under oath. And what does it do? It would make the witness uncomfortable because many of the witnesses are coached by the state. And when they are coached by the state, they are promised that don't worry, won't get arrested. So to remind them on live television, in front of the judge, in front of the court, that do you know that once you found out that you are lying here in court, you are going to get arrested and you're going to get charged, punished. Just message the emotions. Then just after that, allow the others to come and bring technical questions. These guys, I think they should work together. If your client is not perhaps implicated in this witness, don't just keep quiet. Work together as a team, and that will allow them to win the public court. So I think even before Novo, if they all went with people back then, this case would have been gone long time ago. And if they can work together as a unit now and try to win the public court, because here it is clear what's going to happen here. It is clear what's going to happen here. They will try to clean. You see all this confusion. It's orchestrated, this confusion. It's Kelly Khumalo, no, Kelly Khumalo. It's orchestrated confusion here. Yeah, so that is my 2 cents, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All said here, it is alleged. Thank you very much, and it is our viewers. Thank you guys for being with us. Like on your way out, subscribe on your way out. This is us bowing out. Thank you. It has been a very nice, good day. We are on the next one now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye.